Hey, what's up guys, Paramotor here. So the last time I chimed in, I was talking about getting another motorcycle and I gave you guys a live update about what's going on the channel, status of all the bikes that have been on the channel, and what I want to do going forward. There's been a couple bumps in the road with the whole, bike buying process, so I'm gonna have to fill you guys in on that. So the last time I chimed in, I was waiting for a tax return, and then I was gonna put a big chunk down on a motorcycle. Well, come to find out, the TurboTax service that I was using was way off at predicting what my return was going to be. So the whole putting a down payment on the bike with a tax return isn't going to happen. So I'm going to do the next most mature thing, and I'm just going to go buy the motorcycle anyway, just to make myself feel better about not getting a tax return. To my trash garage. This is what happens when you allow your fiance access to your garage. This is what I came in here for. Helmet and jacket. I'll be honest with you, when I hung this stuff up here, I honestly thought I was done riding motorcycles, probably for forever. Got my old license plate here. I need to take that to the DMV. So I have multiple motorcycles that are still registered to me that I don't own anymore. It'll most likely be fine forever. Like, it'll probably never be an issue. But if that bike is ever a suspect of a crime or starts racking up parking tickets somewhere and the person that it sold it to didn't properly register it, then I could be the one responsible for all that, because it'll just look who is the most recent registered owner or something along those lines, and then I can start getting criminal summons. I've seen it happen before and it's not good. So anyway, my helmet, which is dirty. It's been hanging up since May, and my summer weight jacket. It's definitely not summertime, so get a motorcycle soon. It's gonna be cold. So mainly what I wanted to do is hook this all up and make sure this all still works, that my camera setup and everything still works and it's still good. Because I want to do, if I get a motorcycle tomorrow, I want to do a first ride home. I've seen these videos of people doing first rides, like, oh yeah, first ride home on my SV650 or my what the hell is the Kawasaki? What the hell is the Kawasaki one? It's another 650. ZX650? Is it a ZX650? I don't know. It's amazing how you're out of motorcycles for like not even a year and I start forgetting everything. Just flash my little birdie legs for the camera. So the biggest thing about this is I just wanted to make sure there's nothing living in here, because I think it was this springtime, I was in my garage doing stuff and there was a spider that looks suspiciously like a black widow. And apparently there's something called a false widow. So it's just like that, it's just a spider that mimics the look of a black widow. And I was like, holy shit, like, I got black widows in my house. And like, it's the South, so I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. But the biggest thing, I want to make sure that this guy was still on here. I need to revamp this entire motovlog setup because it's pretty old. This helmet is also due to be replaced too. But instead of spending money on safety equipment, I think it'd be better spent just buying a new motorcycle. What do you guys think? So I'm gonna get this all set up. I'm gonna hopefully get everything working. I'm gonna do a check of this and make sure that I can still hear my beautiful voice and everything like that, so we can do some videos again. And I'm hoping tomorrow I can go buy a motorcycle. I work tomorrow night, but not till 8 p.m. So it gives me almost all day to sort out the motorcycle and hopefully buy it and hopefully get it and everything. But you always got to factor in bumps on the road with this stuff. Check, 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 check. Cue fat guy noises. Are you picking up on my fat guy noises? I'm not really fat anymore, but it's really hard to say that you're not fat in one of these helmets. What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Check out, check. Check, check, check. Mic check, 1, 2. I hope you guys can hear me. What's up, everybody? Paramoto here. Check this out. First ride, 2024 Yamaha MT-07. Go ahead and get this bad boy started up. Look at that display. So this bike, 2023 actually, Yamaha MT-07, Full Acro system, $7,300 on the paperwork, plus the $1,000 for the system. And we're about to take this thing on its first ride. God, that sounds good. Man, this thing sounds fucking amazing, guys. Oh, it's so torquey. Oh my God. Sold all the motorcycles last year. Had an itch for a bike so bad. Looking around, and this bike, the MT-07, had been on my radar for quite a while. Can't argue what these bikes are, and the fantastic motors that Yamaha puts into these things, and everything to do with the MT series. So I started looking around for one, and Capital Powersports Wake Forest had one literally listed for $7,300, and then you got taxes and dealer fees and everything like that. You can't do anything about that, but $7,300 for this bike. Oh my God, she's a torque monster. Literally didn't have a motorcycle 2 hours ago. It is 2:24 in the afternoon. Oh my God, I found neutral first try. It is 2:24 in the afternoon. I now am back on two wheels, and I am absolutely beyond excited about this. She picks up quick. She picks up so quick, man. It's like, I'm coming from super bikes. I'm coming from 150 some odd horsepower super bikes, and this bike feels like it picks up better off the line. Like, I feel it like wanting to just pull my face off. So I went in, I really wanted the black one. They offered to get it out of a crate for me, but honestly, after seeing this blue for the second time, I kind of fell in love with the blue. And I was like, I don't know if I want the black one. And then this one had the full Acro system in it. Why not go full Acro? I plan on putting a Toast exhaust on this bike. Ooh, she's flickable. I plan on putting a Toast exhaust on this motorcycle, but you know, this one comes with the Acro, which would have been my second choice for sure. It sounds like a freaking V8, man. Like, I theoretically know what a 270 crossplane crank is, but I don't understand what it actually is. All I know is that it makes an amazing sounding motorcycle. Oh, it's got 3 miles on it. Got 3 miles on this joker. She's a high mileage bike. I don't really want to mess around too much. This bike is in break-in, but it's also, I also work here, and I don't really want to, you know, I want to be respectful of my coworkers that are working the streets today. It feels like a small bike. It sounds like a huge bike, and it just pulls, man. That's a 4th gear pull. And it's still just like shoving the bike back. It's got a good low rumble. Just a good rumble. Oh, so I definitely need to be careful. I got this really bad track record that something generally happens on my way home from my first ride. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that's a freaking thing, but I've almost gotten hit on multiple first rides. I usually get caught in the rain, so I don't even get to enjoy the motorcycle, you know, without rain spots on it. I know this bike's in break-in, but I'm gonna have to accelerate here, getting on the highway, and I am looking forward to this. I might have taken the long way just to do this. And there's a fuckload of traffic. God, it's so easy to find neutral. How many new bikes is it easy to find neutral on? Like none? Exactly 0? I'm a little bit hesitant. I haven't ridden since like May, so it's like jumping out in front of traffic or something like that is just not something I'm looking to do. End up freaking stalling a brand new bike, dropping it right in front of cars or something. Oh my God. Oh my God, she pulls like a sport bike, guys. This bike pulls like a damn sport bike. And she sounds amazing. Dude, like, she's got so much torque. We're in 5th gear, and this thing is still just like pull me, and we're in eco mode. Why are we in eco mode? How do I get it out of eco mode? So I think I went with the blue as well, just because, like, honestly, like, I think it would look better on camera having a little bit of color change. And you know what? Another MT-07 motovlogger by the name of Psycho Cruiser has got a black MT-07. I don't really want to be, you know, miming somebody, you know, like I get it, like he's his own person. I'm not going to try to, you know, mimic him or anything like that, or do whatever, try to copy him. But you know, there's already a black MT-07 on the market, so let's get a blue one. Why not? I gotta stop and treat my fiance to lunch for coming out, giving me a ride out here and everything. You always got to be nice to your people, right? Oh man. Oh man, I'm gonna be a hooligan on this bike. I am going to be a hooligan. I think I went to the wrong place. Hey, did you want to go to Gatehouse or over the falls?
I said over the falls.
Okay, go over the falls. I'll meet you there in a sec. And I went to the wrong spot. I told her to lead me. I told her, I'm like, hey, why don't you lead, and we'll just go to lunch wherever you want to go to lunch. And then she made me go first. So this isn't exactly my fault, but it probably is my fault. You know what? The thing about being with a woman is everything's always your fault. Just assume things are your fault. Oh man, I can get used to that exhaust note. I can get used to that exhaust note. Oh man. So much for getting a freaking motorcycle to like tame my hooliganness. This is not going to tame my hooliganness at all. I can't get over this freaking display, man. This display looks straight up like a freaking like a video game. Look at this fuel gauge. That fuel gauge is sick. The throttle's a bit loosey-goosey, but you know what? It's a Japanese bike. Japanese bikes aren't really known for having like the very best fit and finish. It's all things that can be changed. It's all things that can be, you know, fixed over time. Mods can be done. I can deal with this. I can definitely deal with this bike. I'm really stoked that I got this bike with this Acro exhaust on it. I'm really stoked about that. That was a score. I probably would have liked to do the work myself because I do like doing mods, and that's probably the biggest mod I would have done. But at the same point, like, I get it. You know, they're trying to, you know, make a bike a little bit more special, entice somebody like me to buy it. So they throw an Acro exhaust on it, and it's a good idea. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. I definitely need to remind myself that these tires need to be scrubbed in before I start leaning. I keep on wanting to like follow the bike and let the bike lean on over, but you know, at the same point, like, you can't just like let it just do whatever it wants. Let's not get attention from the police. I just upshifted a bunch. That'd be fun. Within like the first 10 miles, get pulled over. I mean, I guess it probably wouldn't be the first time getting pulled over on the first ride. If somebody with some bright ass LEDs just came over that hill, I thought that cop flipped his lights on and was coming after me. But yeah, I was gonna like buy the Acro myself and like put the Acro on myself and all this stuff, and it was like, I didn't know when I was gonna be able to afford the exhaust, to be honest with you. So it's like, why not just get it? Because then at least I don't gotta do it later. You know, like, I don't gotta put music behind this video because the bike is so damn quiet or something like that. It's getting cold already. 49 degrees. 49 degrees, man. Chilly first rides. So far, my first impression is that this bike outperforms its price tag. I know it's like 7 miles into the first ride, but I feel like this bike outperforms its price tag. You're talking about $7,300 for this bike, and then you got to think about, you know, the fact that it's just a naked Japanese bike. You know, it turns in super well. It's just like, it's comfortable. Like, I feel like I can stay on this bike all day long. Unfortunately, I can't because I got to work and got to meet somebody up for lunch. But I feel like this could be an all-day rider. I'm busy. Why is it so busy? around this giant pothole. Park this new somewhere else. Don't want to be parking this new somewhere where it can get hit. I gotta send a quick video of this, but look at this thing, man. I mean, she's not quite a Panigale, but you gotta admit that this is a nice freaking motorcycle. Alright guys, I need to go in for lunch and I'll be right back. What's up guys, just got done with lunch, back out here to the bike to continue this first ride. This part of the video, I think I want to actually give you guys a little bit more like tangibles, a little bit more objective criticism of the bike and observations, not so much criticisms. I don't think I really have much to criticize this bike over. I don't like the placement of the key. That's the only thing I can really tell you that I don't like so far. The key being all the way up here is so weird. Like, I hope I get used to it. I guess like most of the time I usually walk up to the bike and I put the key in and then I'd like start it and stuff, and I'm usually like putting gloves on and I'm like, you know, battening down everything, making sure everything is good. So I guess it doesn't really matter probably where the key is. I mean, I could honestly say it probably doesn't at all. So I mean, I guess that's just, that might be nitpicky. I don't know. I don't really know. That could be nitpicky. You let me know. This being the more objective part of the video, I'm going to tell you guys what my first thoughts really are on this bike so far in this first ride home. There's barely any miles on the bike, so it's kind of like, it's just kind of like a preliminary, just like, you know, first thoughts and impressions. I will say, first and foremost, this bike is a torque monster. This thing has got so much torque, it is pulling me around the seat. It has so much torque. It's just like, it's literally like I get thrown back every single time I twist the throttle. And for like I think it's like 680 cc bike, it is insane like how much torque this damn thing has. Like, I know it's classified as kind of like a beginner bike. People would generally call this a beginner bike, but for a beginner bike, it's got a lot in the low down, which is kind of where you want it. Like, if you want to do mainly street stuff like I do, commuting stuff, that's kind of where you want your power at, is down low. So honestly, I think Yamaha did a fantastic job tuning this bike and putting the power where people need it. So, you know, good on Yamaha. I love it. I love where the torque is on this thing. This is a good old downtown Wake Forest. It's small but very quaint. Great coffee shop. Pretty awesome little place. I like it here. Oh look, you can see us in the mirrors. I don't look too goofy on this bike. I will say, like, there's something about smaller bikes that, like, you know, if you're a bigger dude on a smaller bike, sometimes you can look a little goofy. This one, I don't think so. I don't think that's a thing. Well, while we're stopped, I guess it's a good time to say my next most positive thing is that this display. The bezel is a little bit crazy big, but the display is beautiful. The display is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's so crisp, it's so HD. All the information that I would want readily available is really easy to see. Like, the tack is just this really cool digital, kind of like analog digital display. It's a digital display of some sort of mock-up of an analog, like an old school, as you can see there. The gear indicator is awesome. Look at this, like, little neutral, and then you got now I'm in first, and it tells me each gear on either side of whatever gear I'm at, and it's kind of cool. It's almost like a rolling gear indicator. I've never seen that before. I think that's a really cool touch. From there, like, everything else is like perfect. Like, you got your odometer, you got the things that are on. Like, my brights are on right now because we're during the daytime. We got the time, we got the outside temperature. It's 70 degrees in January. Man, how do you beat that? You know, it's just a beautiful display. You can change it. I forget which mode this is, if this is touring, because there's touring and street mode. There's no race mode because this isn't a sport bike. But yeah, I mean, everything that you need, fuel gauge, temperature, everything is right up top. It's clear as day. Like, if I'm like, oh, I wonder what my temp is, it's right there. I'm not looking for it. It's super clear. I can't get over how good it is. It's the best display I've ever had on a motorcycle, and I've had motorcycles that, you know, are worth twice as much as this bike. Next thing that is just readily apparent when you buy this bike is that it flicks so freaking well. Like, it just turns. It just turns. It just turns, it wants to turn. It's like, you just, I don't know, it's like, it's almost like second nature. It's like the bike is an extension of you already. As like, from the first time you sit down on it, there's like no learning curve. It's like, you sit in it, it's comfortable, and it's just very agreeable. It's very easy to deal with, you know, which is probably just a testament to Yamaha's designs. So I know this is kind of more like a regulation thing than anything probably, but these mirrors have got to go. They've got to go. These goofy antler mirrors are just goofy looking, man. Like I said, they're just the goofiest mirrors. Like, it's almost like these don't even belong on the bike, because like you can tell that the angles don't meet up with the bars and stuff. So it's like, it's kind of like these don't even belong on here. Like, it's just like they took them off something else and they just like slapped them on this bike, you know. It's just like the angle is like here, like it's like here, and then the bar is down here, so it goes from like like that. It just looks weird. And they're just big, like goofy antlers, like antennas, you know. There's a good set of bar ends would clean up this front end so much, and that is on the radar, along with the tail tidy. Speaking of the tail tidy, I'll say it, I hate to say it, but like the back end of this bike doesn't look the best, and I think a tail tidy would probably help it out a lot, but it looks a little bit scooter-esque. So maybe even a new tail light would help, you know, make it look a little bit more aggressive. Out of the way, New Jersey. So I'm not here to really rag on this bike or anything like that. I really like it. I really like it. There's a reason why it's so popular. I think the next thing is a very positive. It is the best sounding motorcycle I think I've heard in a long time. You know, I always said the Panigale was the best sounding thing I've ever heard. This gives it a run for its money, and this is a Japanese freaking 700cc bike. Like, it is one of the best sounding things I've ever heard. It's awesome sounding. It sounds so good. It just sounds like a muscle bike. It sounds like a freaking muscle bike. That's the best way to put it. I know this isn't like a street fighter, and like street fighters would generally be over 1,000 cc's, but to be honest with you, I think it's the next closest thing to a street fighter. Lamborghini Urus and Urus. I know they name Lamborghinis after like bulls and stuff like that, but to be honest with you, maybe they should have picked a different bull name. Oh, let's see. So what have we covered so far? It turns great. It sounds great. It looks good. The display is fantastic. The mirrors, a little bit goofy. Probably more of a regulation thing than anything. I would say that probably is. They probably just go like, you know, like, you got to throw them on there anyway. People are going to take them off immediately. Let's not put a whole lot of money or thought into this. Just throw them on, which is pretty much what tail tidies and exhausts are. Everybody pretty much changes those things, so they don't really put a lot of money into them. There, what else could we talk about? The controls. The controls are good, but they're a little bit squishy. The controls are a little bit squishy. I know this is kind of hard to make good positive controls, especially on a more budget-friendly bike, but the controls are a little bit squishy. I could see these controls becoming a little bit worn over time. I could totally see that. A little bit worn, a little bit maybe not very positive over time. It would probably take a few years for it to get there. One thing I could totally see that happening too is this menu wheel down here. This menu wheel is, I think, it's a very good, you know, idea, but maybe not the best design. You scroll through everything and then you push it into click. So you got a wheel that then clicks, and it's, I bet you anything over time that would probably maybe not break down here, but I could see over time it becoming very kind of bad to the touch. Something that it's just like, man, if I keep on messing with this thing, it might fall off. I hate to say it, but it's just, this little menu wheel thing I think is a good thought, but I think it would have been better to have a different design. Maybe just a button that you push, I don't know. It's just too much movement, you know, just a little bit too much movement could be bad. You know, especially when you have more budget-friendly stuff, it could be bad. This really isn't like a complaint video, but that's just my general observations. I could be totally wrong about stuff like that. You know, I totally could be. Oh man, it's just so good sounding. And I can't get over that. Holy fucking shit, asshole. Dude just merged into my lane, never even saw me. This bike just has so much. We're in 4th gear, we're going 60 miles an hour. I have 2 more gears to go. This thing feels like it could hang out at highway speeds all day long. Turning off too early. Something stinks over here. Ugh, site development, you better develop a better smell. Ugh. Man, it's so dusty. Really, the only, I'm not looking to make this video like 30 minutes long or anything, but the only other point I really want to make about this bike is that I just feel like this is just a fantastic value. Like, the bike costs $7,000, $8,000 with the aftermarket exhaust on it. It's just, I don't see you getting this kind of, oh man, that's a bunch of rocks. I don't really see you getting a real deal on any other bike with this much quality and everything. I don't really see that happening with really any other bike. Like, you're talking about $7,000 for a bike that's got 70 or so horsepower, torquey is all get out. It's essentially a street fighter. It's got this fantastic motor. It's got a good feel on it. I'm just honestly, like, I'm just blown away by the value of this thing. It feels solid. It feels like a great bike. I don't feel like I'm on a beginner bike. I don't feel like I'm on a cheap bike by any means. I feel like I'm on a very well designed, well thought out, solid Japanese sport bike, pretty much. Like, it's just a great little value. So I would say 10 out of 10. I am looking forward to the years spent with this motorcycle, with, you know, like I'm hoping to do road trips. I'm hoping to do some mods to this thing and really get it to where I want it to be. And, you know, yeah, I'm just super excited, but I'm getting to where I want to go. I'm trying to do something nice for somebody that's at work right now. I'm going to pick them up some sushi and drop it off at their work. So this is where I'm going to leave you guys on the first ride video. I'm looking forward to bringing a lot more of this content to the channel. If you're a subscriber already, I'm really looking forward to bringing this bike to the channel to see how you guys like it, you know. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.